Welcome to the most bizarre film review of the year, possibly, and we're still early in the year because it's only late January for a Brandon Cronenberg, son of David Cronenberg movie, Infinity Pool, starring Alexandra Skarsgard, Mia Goth, and Cleopatra Coleman. This is weird, but if you like Videodrome, or what was the movie last year with the operating artistic style of everything with Viggo Mortensen?
Crimes of the Future.
Crimes of the Future, or let's just leave it at that. Videodrome or Crimes of the Future. Then you'll love his son's film, Infinity Pool, which is a mixture of sci-fi and horror. I wasn't expecting the sci-fi as much, but it kind of hits you. We're gonna talk about the most bizarre thing I've seen this month so far.
Yes, Infinity Pool, written directed by Brandon Cronenberg, and as Chris said, Alexander Skarsgård, Mia Goth, Cleopatra Coleman. Alexander Skarsgård and Cleopatra Coleman play husband and wife, James and M. Foster. They are on this vacation in this beautiful island resort, and much like many island resorts, it's very closed off, and the rest of the island is very underprivileged, very poor. So anytime they want to do anything, they have to make sure it's only on the resort. From the get-go, I could tell that M. Foster just wanted to get away from her husband. I mean, they're at the breakfast table, they're talking, and she wants to go, on a tour into town that the guards are going to take her on. And he's like, no, I really don't want to. And she's like, okay, well, can I go? And he's like, even before he gets out the word yes, she's like up and out because she wants to get the F away from him. That is very obvious. James meets Mia Goth, and who is Gabby Bauer. She is a fan of his, and they start to talking, and they develop a friendship. Now, I'm kind of leery about Gabby Bauer and her husband, but whatever. We'll see what happens. I will say this: in the first, I think, 10 minutes of the film, it like just ticks off every single sin you can imagine, the 7 deadly sins and the 10 commandments, all in the first 10 minutes of the film, which bravo to you, Brandon Cronenberg, that you can do this. Now, I know Chris had mentioned David's work, but if you like the film Possessor, Infinity Pool has like those shots where it's like almost the fluid colors and the scenes like mixing in and out, and this like fever dream of a some sort of like high on drugs where you don't know if what you're seeing, and like little blurbs of stuff, which definitely is something that is good for a repeat viewing. I don't necessarily want to give away the entire film. However, I will say this: the key reveal is interesting to me because I've seen this reveal in like 6 films in the past 2 to 3 years, which I mean, this is like a whole new like volcano thing, or Sharknado crazy stuff going on, which I mean, these are all high quality films that I've seen this on. So good for them. And maybe everyone just had this huge brain release, like, hey, let's do this. But the thing about Infinity Pool that I think is the most important is the social commentary of it, which I don't think is talked about enough. And it's more about the orgy, which, yeah, it is hot. I'm not going to lie. That was a hot orgy with everybody involved. And some other things going on. It also has extreme violence, a lot of graphic stuff going on. And yeah, but it's a social commentary that I really wish would be more of a forefront issue that is really needs to be discussed. How, once the rich feel like they can get away from everything and just buy it off, like what are they actually accountable for? I think Mia Goth has beyond cemented her place in any kind of film history with her performances. I mean, her dead stare just haunts me. And it's also so alluring. It's like, I don't know how to feel. It gives you mixed emotions. Like, am I supposed to be scared? Am I supposed to be turned on? Am I both? What is happening? I don't know. But she is absolutely amazing. Like the way she just taunts Alexander Skarsgard's like, James, which you're gonna hear that a lot in different things. Like she is crazy. I wanted to note that the cinematography, heaven. There is a scene where Gabby and James are talking at the pool, and you have this, it's like it's at sundown. You have this beautiful natural light that is just haloing over them. That is just, I mean, chef's kiss. So kudos to Kareem Hussein for that, because I noted that right away. The production design is amazing. These masks they wear because of this tradition that's going on at the island are haunting and fantastic. Like again, amazing. And I know Brandon Cronenberg with Possessor, very big on the masks, and these are even more grotesque and detailed than I think that Possessor had. Possessor is my favorite film of, I believe, 2020. So to go from that to this, I mean, 2023 has a lot of shoes to fill. I think this is going to be up there in my top 10 right now, probably my top 3, because I loved everything about it. I think one of the things after we got done seeing it with my friends, it's discussion film. Like, is the ending this? Is it this? What does infinity pool mean? Could it be these different meanings? I thought it was one thing. A friend of mine said it was another. Those are my favorite types of films, especially in horror, because you don't have the exact answer and it really gets you thinking of what all these things could be. I think this is amazing. I think a lot of people should see it in the theater. I know, oh no, there's an NC-17. Who cares? Believe me, you know what? There's enough dick, there's enough vagina, there's enough sex, and there's enough blood. If there's an NC-17, great. Add that on top, but this is worth seeing in the theater, so you should go see it.
Did they cut the stuff to get their R rating into the theaters, or is it officially an NC-17?
No, apparently the NC-17 hasn't come to the theater yet.
Oh, okay, so that'd be like a Blu-ray, oh, here's the director's cut.
Yeah, which,
okay.
If it is, I mean, what I saw was fine. What I saw was great. If there's more, I mean, Brandon Cronenberg, I love his work. So if there's a little bit more, I think it just be tweaked. But what I saw was great. I know there's some people who are like, I'm just going to wait till NC-17. F that. Go see in the theater. It's worth seeing in the theater.
This movie was, I didn't know what the heck I was going to go into watching it, and it didn't as much lose me halfway through the film as much as like it just becomes like this whole kind of other movie, and I was really taken, maybe not taken aback, but it was just like, what are they doing and where are they going? And it becomes this complete and utter mind trip of a film halfway through. One of the funniest lines of the movie is when she yells out tells out to James, because they don't call them clones, they call them copies. Maybe that's because clones are used in so many other things, they don't want to say clones, but they call them copies.
They call them doubles. Spoiler. That's a spoiler. So
well, that's in the trailer. You see the copy in the pool of the goo, the weird stuff. How they do it. The birth, the thing. It's whatever it is. But they don't reveal the science behind it, so it's left very like up in the air about how they do what they do. But there is maybe I can't reveal my favorite line in the movie just because it was so laugh out loud funny, but it reminded me a lot of Mia Goth's other roles that she's done before.
You already said double, so you might as well.
I mean, well, again, that's it. Did you ever see the Keanu Reeves movie where he has to bring his family back from the dead after they get killed in a car accident or something?
Yes.
Yes, that reminded me of this. This reminded me of that. That was a very underrated, like in and out of theaters kind of film that people should go check out. Copies or something. I don't remember the exact name of it, but that had a weird. That didn't have the darkness around it as much as this movie does with its whole like don't leave the resort because bad things happen when you leave resorts, which is true in today as well. I've had friends that told me they left the resort and they went right back to it after they saw one too many things they probably shouldn't have. And it was like, nope, we're staying at the resort the entire time. And I was like, what happened? They're like, criminal stuff. That's all they could say. And that I would be remiss. Is this a real country? Because I couldn't quite catch the name of the country.
I mean, it is but from one of the things that I loved about it, you see the different you see the language of the country, and one of the things I noted is that it has symbols of like a form of Japanese alphabet. I saw some Greek. I noted some Russian in it. So it is a country. I don't think it's an actual country, but I love the fact that the language is like a mix of all these different countries in it, so that you can't pinpoint it to one like specific area.
This is also this is like the first time I've seen Alexander in something since Kong versus Godzilla versus Kong. He's very like, oh, I'm studying the monsters and how they fight in that film. Whereas this film, he's depressed. He's living off the laurel. The money of his wife. The one-hit wonder book that he did, and it's a definite contrast to his role on True Blood, where he is the living the lifestyle of the rich and famous vampire. Compared to his brother, who's been doing wacky, weird stuff, most of his career. It was nice to see him in something like this. And I've not watched every single thing he's done, but it makes me always want to continue watching things that he does. And Cleopatra Coleman, I don't know much about. So,
well, and he was in Northman, which was one of my favorite films last year. Which he was extraordinary in that. Amazing acting. His roles with his interactions with Nicole Kidman, which is very interesting since Nicole Kidman plays his mother, and they were husband and wife in that HBO series. Not Tell Me Lies, but something like that. With I don't know, they're recently, but this was something that this is the first time. I mean, obviously he's still in Skarsgard's son, and he has a number of brothers that are also in the industry. And you look at that, but this is the first film of anything that he's ever done where I really saw a resemblance to his dad. There's a scene where it's like everyone acts very animalistic and they're like grunting and stuff. And he's kind of doing that. And I never in anything he's ever done ever really saw like I mean, yeah, it's like, okay, you're your dad's son, whatever. But in some points, when he's doing that, I mean, he looks exactly like his dad, like in earlier roles that his dad did, which I thought that was very interesting. But I also think that Brandon Cronenberg has a lot to say about female empowerment, and especially in this film, because Mia Goth is like the boss bitch, like no one's business. And I loved how he, what he had to say about female roles in Possessor. So I'm very interested to see the rest of Brandon's work. I know I've seen Antiviral and some other things, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what he's coming up with in the future, especially with his scripts, because I love how he's having these immense female characters come on screen and just take over. And the almost like it's just the manipulation that they have, especially Mia Goth has with everyone in this film, I just think is amazing. I don't know. I just go on about Mia Goth like 24/7 about this. She is absolutely incredible.
I completely forgot that Stellan Skarsgård, the dad that we mentioned, was with Mia Goth in Nymphomaniac, the art house erotic European bizzarro movie that made her ex-husband Shia LaBeouf go a little nuts afterwards. That film is something else. I was not able to sit through it, not because of subject material disturbed me, but it was just I found it to be not what I was expecting it to be. That's very funny that she's in this one with the son after being in that controversial movie with the dad.
Well, they didn't have any scenes together, but yes, they were in the film together.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen that. Like, I think that came out like 10 years ago. Go see Infinity Pool. I think it's only playing at certain theaters. AMC, I know, is one of them. I know it's not playing at Blackstone, where I also do a lot of my reviews. It's going to be that film that people talk about this year, hopefully. I don't know what it's been doing at the box office, but hopefully it's going to do well. Again, bizzarro movie. Everyone, there was a comment on Facebook below the trailer or some review by Watch Mojo or JoeBlow.com saying, why does films have to be so freaking weird? Why can't horror movies be normal? This looks so weird, I can't sit through it. And that was before I went and saw it.
What, you wrote that or someone else wrote that?
No, someone else wrote that.
Oh,
it was on JoeBlow.com review about the movie, which I didn't click on the review because I wanted to just have the knowledge of the trailer in my head. So,
well, because it sounds like they wrote a review before even seeing the film. So, don't do that, kids.
No, they're basing it on he said that from the trailer.
Yeah, go see the film. We saw it. I loved it. Again, probably one of my top 3 of the year. Brandon Cronenberg, I think he's amazing, and see it for the social commentary and then all the bizarre shit that happens, because it's worth it.
And if you do go to foreign countries, stay within the resort, because this movie shows why you shouldn't leave the resorts. They're built for a reason. As they were leaving the resort, I'm seeing the barbed wire around the fence, and I'm like, oh, this is where the bad thing happens.
Yeah, just be a good person. You know, if you go out of the country or in the country, just be good people. That's really what this film should be saying.
Yes. Check out the rest of the reviews here on the Radio Horror YouTube channel. Check out Cati's reviews over on the Blonde in Front on our Facebook page. You've got another review that's coming out.
YouTube.
You have another review that's coming out soon too, right?
Yes.
And we'll be back for it. Knock on the door in the cabin in the woods somewhere. Knock on the door. I always say it's a knock on the door in the cabin in the woods. But no, just called Knock on the Door.